Hello, thanks for watching. In today's video, we're going to go over how Virginia and West Virginia trade allies apply for incentives through the Appalachian Power TakeCharge Virginia and West Virginia online application portal. If you are a customer, this will be the same process as if you are a trade ally. However, some of the screens that you will encounter along the way will be a little bit different. This is the same process for both Virginia and West Virginia trade allies. For today's video, we'll use the Take Charge Virginia BES program as an example. So let's get started. First, I want to navigate to the webpage, TakeChargeVA.com. When we're here, you can scroll down the page. You can see current rebates there at the top. You can scroll down. You can see different programs for your home. If you keep going, you'll see programs for your business. So here in these two boxes, as you can see, there is the Business Energy Solutions or BES program and the Small Business Direct Install or SBDI program. So for the purposes of our video, I'm going to go ahead and click on the Business Energy Solutions or BES program. Now again, this will be the same process. If you go up and you look in the top left corner of your screen, you should see a different tab for West Virginia. That is how you would navigate to the West Virginia online application portal. But again, we're looking at the BES program today. So as we click that box that says Business Energy Solutions, you should see a green button in the middle of your screen, right under the headline that says Business Energy Solutions. Go ahead and click that green button to submit your application. Now this takes us to the online application portal screen. You can see there are two places you could click. My Online Applications. This is in case you have multiple applications already in the system. Or you could click Start Online Application. Now this screen is where it will be different if you are a trade ally or a customer. If you are a customer, you're going to want to go ahead and skip the next few screens that we go to. But if you're a customer, you would just go ahead and put your account number and account name into the box there as you scroll down. All right, so I'm going to start off. If you look in the top right-hand corner of your screen, you should see a little blue text. You can hover on it. It says Trade Ally Login. That's you. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And now you should see the online application page pop up. You should see on this page a place to input your username and password. In my example, mine says BES Online Application. And as I scroll down, I can put in my username and my password. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Now, depending on where this takes you, if you've done this before or not, again, you will see more options appear in the bar across the top. So mine is showing me some applications I've already started. Yours may be blank as you scroll down. That's okay. So I'm going to go across the top to where it says Start Online Application because I want to start a new application. When I click that, it should take me to another screen where it says Take Charge Virginia Program. And now it's asking for an account number and an account name. This is where you will put in information provided to you by the customer. So we're going to enter the 10-digit account number. It does start with a 0. We're going to enter the account name as well. Now, note here that this must be exactly how it is on the customer's bill. If you do need assistance with that, please give us a call so we can help you out and get into the system there. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my customer account, and I'm going to go ahead and click Validate Account. Now mine says, please wait while we validate your account. This may take up to a minute. Now I get a screen that says your account information has been verified. Click Next to begin your application. So it's a separate box that kind of covers up the rest of the screen. I'm going to go ahead and click Next. Great. Now I'm seeing a screen that says Take Charge Virginia Business Energy Solutions Program. Again, we still have our green bar at the top. And then under that, I have a blue bar that says Company Information. And we're just going to go ahead and fill out the company information. We're going to fill out each field as it is here. So the headquarters or primary office that is the owner of the site where the project is being done is what we want. So site information is going to be the same. If we scroll down, we'll see site information on this page. So again, this is where the owner of the site of the project is located, and the site information is the address where the project or the equipment is being installed. So I'm just going to go ahead and start filling this out, and I am completing the application as. I'm going to mark Trade Ally on behalf of a customer. Again, if you've made it this far and you're a customer, you can click Customer. You will see another option there, Account Executive on behalf of a customer. So I'm going to go ahead and click Trade Ally on behalf of a customer. You may notice as well that there are required fields here. So any field with a red dot by it, or maybe that's an asterisk, those are required before you can move to the next screen. So you'll see those on some various fields here. Then there's a question there, have you installed or purchased equipment? The estimated installation completion date. I'm going to scroll down, site information again. So this should, emphasis on the should, it should pull when you put in the customer account number. That's the goal, so you don't have to fill all this out. But if for some reason it doesn't, you can automatically put it in. Building type, that is one that is not auto-populating on mine. So I'm gonna, if you click here, there's a drop down and you can pick from a lot of different ones. I'm just gonna go ahead and pick one at random here. Square footage, I'm not gonna input. If you do know that, then please do it. But water heating type, space heating type, occupancy status, another required field. How do we hear about the program? Well, now, again, as a trade ally, you would have had to have asked the customer how they heard about it. If you are the customer filling this out, you obviously would know. So that I'm going to go ahead and click Next. Now, if your screen looks like mine, you should go get to the next screen that says Take Charge for Virginia Business Energy Solutions Program. So BES, that's the program we're in. And it should give you your company name, application ID. All that should be now at the top, I guess under the top green bar and under that heading. And then you should also see different tabs. So these tabs, you can go back and forth through these tabs. So that's helpful because if you have some of the information but not all of it, your application will be saved. So if you want to get some customer information in there and you know the payee information and the measures, but you may not have quite gotten all the rest of the information from the customer, that's all right. At this point, it will save. You should see an application status as well up there under the header. On my screen, it says in progress, not submitted. I would add not submitted yet. But that's a good thing. So that means if you have to go do something and you need to come back, you can just get right back to this application. So hopefully you will find that helpful. So now we're going to fill out the contact information section. Now I will make a note here on that email address under customer contact. So there's two different ones here, right? There's the primary contact and the customer contact. But the primary contact is responsible for signing the application. So that needs to be the customer email address, the primary contact, because the customer has to sign the application. If you read this blurb here, it'll say it there. I believe the second sentence, if your screen's the same as mine, but the primary contact is responsible for signing the application through Adobe Sign. So just remember that because you are filling this out on behalf of the customer. Again, the customer contact, as you can read there, is the individual who's authorized to make the decision to move forward with the project and is affiliated with the site that is applying. So the Trade Ally email should only be entered on this entire tab if you have a letter of authorization from the customer that says you can sign. So I'll say that again, your email as a trade ally should only be here on this tab if you have a letter of authorization from the customer that says you can sign on their behalf. Otherwise, the email fields on this tab, right, this page, that should be the customer email. So in most cases, I would imagine that these are going to be the same primary and customer contact, but they could be different. So I filled that out. Now I'm going to go ahead and click Next as we make our way through this application. So now I am on the Trade Ally Project Contributor tab, the tab where we'll fill out our information. If you are filling out a project For Virginia SBDI, there will be another tab here. Again, I'll say this again. If you are doing this for Virginia SBDI, you will see an additional tab here. That tab is labeled QEC, which stands for Quick Energy Check or Quick Energy Checkup. If you just take a quick look at this, you'll see it asks for the submission date for the Quick Energy Check, and then you'll be able to add your equipment. There's a blue button under each one of the sections: lighting QEC, cooling QEC, heating. As you continue to scroll down, you'll see kitchen at the bottom, and that's where you can add equipment by clicking on those tabs. If you continue to scroll down, you'll see recommendations: low cost recommendations, no cost recommendations, lighting measures, and then you can check for the customer if it is recommended for them. So I'm just going to scroll on down so you can see this. But as the other screens, you'll get save for later and next at the bottom. So on the Trade Ally Information tab here, we'll just take a look at this. Is there a trade ally or vendor for this project? If the answer is yes, which if you're watching this video and you've made it this far, you're probably a trade ally. So that would be you. Yes, there is a trade ally for this project, and then you can select a trade ally. Your name should be in there, or your company name. If it is not, please give us a call or shoot us an email so we can make sure that we populate your company information in there. Select a trade ally, and then your information should pop up. Again, we want this to be an easy, quick tab for you. So if you don't find yourself in that drop-down menu, give us a call. If the information for your company looks correct, you can go ahead and move on. If for some reason you need to make changes to that information, again, shoot us an email or give us a call. So at the bottom, you're going to see Other Project Coordinator. And if yes, it will give you additional fields. I'm going to go ahead and say no, again, for the sake of time and for this video. But I think you guys understand that if you do click yes, you're going to get another screen, and then it's going to ask you just for the name, contact info, email, all that good stuff for the other contributors. And in most cases, if you're the trade ally on a project, you probably won't have anyone else in that field. So when I click next, it moves me to the Payee Information tab. And you're going to just want to enter that exactly as it is on the W-9 that you have. So I will say too, please try not to forget any commas or periods or punctuation, because it can affect it. Again, when we're dealing with this auto-populating and where it pulls information, it just becomes super important that everything appears exactly as it is on the W-9. Because once we hit next, it's going to validate everything. If you do get an error message, try to fix it and then hit it again. And if the incentive check is going to be mailed to a different address than what's on the W-9, you will actually have to give us a call or contact us in some way and reference the application number in the subject line. That is because the system will not necessarily recognize it, even though we as human beings will. So pay information, again, you can kind of see what's here. Mine auto-fills when I click customer, which is really the easiest way. That's what we want. And then tax entity. Very good. Okay, you will also see a checkbox at the bottom above those blue buttons that says I've communicated the payment terms and conditions to the customer associated with the project. The Appalachian Power Company Business Energy Solutions Program customer understands and agrees to comply with the payment terms and conditions of the Business Energy Solutions Program. So you're going to want to click that box or it will yell at you, and then we will go ahead and click next. Great. So now it should move you on to the Measures tab. All right, so to start, as you scroll down, you'll actually see four buttons at the bottom there. The button in green says Add Measure. That is where we will want to start. So we're just going to go ahead and click Add Measure. And you'll see that it's broken down into category and measure group and the energy efficient equipment. So category, what should we do here? Let's just pick a fun one that everyone does. Let's just start with lighting. Then measure group, you can see all these in here. If I click on your lamp, it asks you for a lot more information that we need from the manufacturer, building category, area space, model number, but it may change the amount of fields you have to fill out based on which piece of equipment you're installing. The calculation fields, stuff should pop up as you fill in those fields. So that it says read only on mine and on yours because it just populates the annual estimated lifetime KWH saved, the KW savings, as well as the incentive. So you can see that there. You could take a snapshot or write that down in case the customer asks, but you guys probably have a good idea what that is already, but that does auto-populate. So I'm going to go ahead and click Add, and it should load up, and it does. Takes a second there. So now you should see your equipment added. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to add any more, but in theory, you could go in here, you could continue to add as many measures as the customer is wanting. So if they have different types of lighting in their facility, you could add all of those here so they can get an incentive all at once. If they're maybe doing lighting and some HVAC and whatever, you can add it here. So for the sake of time, I'm just going to go ahead and click Next. So the next tab is the File Upload tab. And this is where you will attach any supporting documentation. So on the right-hand side of your screen in bold, you should see a numbered list of what we recommend you put in. It's going to just make it easier for our team to process and for the customer to get their incentive a lot faster. So it is recommended that you upload the spec sheets, a photo of the existing equipment, calculations or model output, the proposal or quote, utility bills, material and labor invoices. We will take whatever you have. So just go ahead and put it in there. You can click that button. It says click here to select files, and then you should be able to just upload whatever you have on your computer. So I'm not going to do that now, but it's pretty easy. You just click to select the file. So I'm going to go ahead and click Next. Now it has taken me to the Review and Submit tab. I want to pause here and point out the top of the screen. You should see company name, application ID, and site name all filled out on your screen. I also want to mention that it will show complete or incomplete in orange font if you are missing anything. But you can click on the tab to review or add any missing information that you may notice once you get to this screen. Once all the categories do say complete, you can move on and hit Next. But again, I want to mention that if you do forget to add a document, once the application is submitted, you can also email it directly to us as well. But once we review all this, if you scroll down, there's another Next tab. So I'm just going to go ahead and click that. And when I click Next, I should be seeing the summary here. So mine says Appalachian Power TakeChargeVA Business Energy Solutions Program Application Summary and Terms and Conditions. That's a mouthful. And as you start to scroll down, you'll see everything you've already filled out. Company information, site information, contact information, trade ally information, payee information. Again, very important. You put the right people in the right spot here. You can scroll down to see the terms and conditions, the customer information release, terms and conditions acknowledgement. Again, they're in bold, saying you've read and understand all of that as well. But now at the bottom there, you have the option on the left-hand side, you could click Previous, or on the right, you could click Submit Application, which I'm going to go ahead and go do. Perfect. So now you see a confirmation page. Now that is very important. We really want you to make sure that you see that confirmation page there, and we also advise that you make a note of your application ID, log that somewhere else for your records, but that means that your application has now been submitted for incentives through, in this case, the BES program from Appalachian Power TakeCharge Virginia Energy Efficiency Program. So that's great. If you have that number, that's what we were looking for, you are all done. So after you make note of that application ID, it's in the system. So once it's approved and turned into a project, you should receive an automatic email notification updating you on the status of the project as well. You can see the next steps there. That's what I'm talking about. Look for an email from Adobe Sign requesting a signature that will be sent to the primary contact. So if you've got a customer, they're going to be getting an email to where they have to sign off on it as well. And you'll get a confirmation email that this has been submitted once it's been reviewed and all the fun boxes have been checked. So Also, there is the contact number and contact email there for you if you have any questions or you have any issues with this application or submitting through this online portal. So that concludes the application process. I'm just going to go back to the top of my page. Remember that big green bar that we have there? I'm going to go back to the top. You could click Return to Home. I'm going to click My Online Applications. Then you can, of course, see the status here, all the information at the top, the company name of this application that we just did are there. And once I click that, and you can see in this My Online Application section, you see now in there your project. So you could have a lot of projects in here, but it does save them in the system. And you can see the program, company name, account number, your application status. In this case, because I just clicked Submit, mine now says awaiting customer signature. You can see the site information and all of that. So it's in the system and we are good to go. So that does conclude the process of applying for incentives through the Appalachian Power Take Charge program portal. And hopefully you were able to follow along and that this will be an easy process for you. With that, thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it all the way to the end, and best of luck doing projects and submitting them. But again, if you have any questions, we are happy to get those answered for you. Feel free to email us, give us a call, and thank you so much for submitting your project through the Appalachian Power Take Charge Virginia and Take Charge West Virginia programs. Thanks.